Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest news in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Can you tell us about the developments around Goldfields' potential wind energy project at the South Deep gold mine?
Yes, you don't think of wind energy having much potential when you live in Gauteng. I mean, when you live in Port Elizabeth or in some of the other places that are called windy, you expect to get something from that. But the data that has been gathered over more than a year is very convincing at the moment. And it looks like financially it's feasible. One of the drawbacks is that there might be an environmental challenge because there's a colony of bats living there, and they want to see exactly how this will affect those before going ahead. But it seems like a decision will be taken in the third quarter, given all the data that's been collected, which seems positive.
Now, Copper 360 will be opening its Rietberg underground copper mine 3 months ahead of schedule.
Copper 360, which is listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange as alternative exchange, the Altex, it's always surprising on the upside. They seem to do things at a heck of a pace, and they actually produced copper from surface material using a new plant that they acquired ahead of expectations. Now they are 3 months ahead of the scheduled planned start of the Rietberg copper mine, which is fantastic news for South Africa because you can see the price of copper building up, and we can see it's building up because people know that demand is building up. When they look at supply, they worry because you do hear a lot of projects that are going ahead, but you don't hear of mines going ahead like we see now with Rietberg. And there are 11 other projects like that, coming up soon. So it could be a situation that's very good for South Africa. We need those exports. Those exports strengthen our rand. The activity there is already showing how it can build up, the social fabric. So I think that we are very pleased to see the pace at which Copper 360 is moving. And I think they'll still surprise us on the upside as they report going forward.
And lastly, South Africa's economy could benefit quickly from getting mineral exploration going at pace.
Yes, we've spoken about mineral exploration for so long because we had a situation in South Africa where the private sector used to do all the exploration. When we democratized in 1994, they said, no, we must do what other mining jurisdictions do. Looking at Canada, looking at Australia, saying the state actually controls that. The state is the custodian. And in doing that, the state tried to set up a cadastre, which was a massive failure. And if you don't have a proper cadastre, it slows things down. There is work being done on the cadastre at the moment. But when you think of what this could do to the economy in the short term, you get the drilling out there, you get people out there, it's a lot of economic activity quickly. You would imagine that they would treat it as being very, very urgent. And when you do that, you work at a faster pace. But what is needed, I think, is collaboration like we've seen between public and private sectors. We saw with the energy crisis, the public and private sector coming together and helping to solve that problem. Not that it's out of the woods, but it actually improves it. You saw public-private partnership coming together for logistics. You could see the rail activity improving. We saw a lot of public-private activity when we had the pandemic. It worked well. So I think that is a model that we must keep. And if we can bring it now into the area of exploration, it's going to help for sure. And it'll help our economy, and it'll help the outlook for mining, because at the moment the industry is shrinking. You need to change that mentality. And if you start looking now for metals that actually are fairly well demarcated, it could be very good for our economy.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. To subscribe to Creamer Media's Engineering News and Mining Weekly, please email subscriptions@creamermedia.co.za.